It's November 30th. Beautiful morning. Gavin and I have been covered up since we got in the tree. It actually took us a while to get all the camera gear and everything out because we had deer underneath us. And we got to watch a pretty good buck. We've watched multiple bucks already making rows back behind us. We were kind of watching that deer and I was trying to figure out what buck he was. I don't recognize him. He's got a couple broken tines and I thought he was this 6x6. They're super similar. I was glassing him, looking at pictures on my phone, trying to figure out if it was him, and he just broke tines off. But I'm about 90% sure it's a different deer. I don't think I have pictures of that buck, but fully mature, really cool encounter. I could see a small buck coming from my right, and he was off to my left. And I knew I wasn't going to shoot him, but I wanted to try to get some cool footage and see if I can get him to come right by us. And because that little buck was over there, I thought it would be perfect time. I threw a couple grunts and a snort wheeze, and a few seconds later he was walking by at like 12 yards. So that was really cool. It's been a fun morning. A bunch of turkeys and owls and deer. I just love these kind of mornings. They're just kind of quiet and you can hear everything. There's a couple bucks in here that I would like to get a better look at. I'm not 100% sure if I'd shoot them. I'm on the fence a little bit. I'd love to see them in person. But more than anything, I'm looking forward to this afternoon's hunt. Trying to make a plan to go after that Diablo buck and figure out how to get on him, but I couldn't stay out of the woods this morning. Just the conditions were too good. I didn't want to mess that spot up, so I came to this spot. So far it's paid off. It's been a fun morning. We'll probably hang in here for another couple hours and see how it goes. get stuff packed up and get out of here. I'd rather be in early for the afternoon hunt than stay late morning here. It was a good hunt though. I think we saw probably at least 7 bucks. Good activity back here. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to the afternoon hunt, so I'm gonna pack up and try to finalize a game plan. Alright, here we go. It's about 1 o'clock. Kevin and I are settled into the redneck. This, I've talked about a bunch, but this is just a really tough spot to hunt for a number of reasons. Swirling winds, a ton of deer in here, really thick cover if you get in the woods. Tonight's wind is switching really light, switching from northwest to southwest. And for that reason, we're just going to try to do everything we can. You know, if there were fewer deer, then potentially I'd try to risk it because there wouldn't be as many deer to bump. But Kevin and I were just talking. It seems like everywhere you look out here, we were trying to think where we could sit. Everywhere you look, there's eventually going to be a deer walk by tonight. There's just that many in here. And so we eventually settled on this option. I really like our chances of seeing our target buck. I don't love our chances of getting him in bow range, but I figured this would be better than nothing. I told Gavin I feel like it's game 7. Basically just have 2 days left to try to hunt this deer before the gun seasons roll in. And then it will be trying to find a different buck to hunt once the gun seasons close. So hopefully tonight's the night. The deer are already moving. We've seen a handful already. There's some feeding with some turkeys out there. Looks like just fawns right now, but there's been a couple mature does walk through one of those spots. It's just all day. It's surrounded by bedding. Hopefully we get a little luck on our side finally and he takes a stroll within bow range tonight. Not gonna let me shoot her, is she? buck that's walking right here looks a lot like the one that we walked up on. Me and Ethan walked right up on. It does kind of look weird, doesn't it? The way he's walking. So cool. I know he does not like this point. To a spike. Oh, that is unreal. That deer is so messed up. Get interesting again. Learn this lesson. We still have some time left, but it gets dark in here pretty quick, so we figured we'd do an interview and then sit the rest of the night out. Unfortunately, no sighting of our target, but it's been a good hunt, a lot of deer. And what just happened with these two bucks over here is crazy. I've never seen anything like it. A few hunts back, Ethan and I were walking in, and we came across this 1.5-year-old buck. He was by the pond and did not look good at all. He was just kind of swaying, standing there. Something wrong with him. We didn't even see him until we were 5 yards from him, and he was clueless. He was like trying to figure out. We'd walk, and he'd like look a little bit behind us, trying to figure out what the source of the sound. Anyway, he was completely messed up. And so I had got a hold of the DNR to see if I should put him down or if they wanted to come test him or whatever. And they said they wanted to potentially come test him for CWD just in case. And when I went back there after the hunt, we came and sat here for a couple hours while we were waiting for them. I came back to where he was at, and he was gone. And so we're like, man, he couldn't go far. I mean, he looked like he was about dead. Well, anyway, this buck comes strolling down the lane. I mean, I don't know how long it's been, at least 10 days or maybe 2 weeks ago when that happened. And I recognized the buck right away because he's got that broken beam, and he came out and was feeding. He didn't look great, but he was feeding with the other deer. And that big 8 that we've encountered a bunch, beautiful deer, he basically sucker punched him. That yearling buck was just clueless. He didn't even know that he was making the mature buck angry. But he squared up with him once, and then it looked like they got him in the side pretty good there too. You can see a tuft of hair go flying. I've never seen anything like that, but obviously that buck is not anywhere near 100%, But he is out there feeding right now. That the big 8 has worked his way off. But that's just crazy. I don't know if he's got a head injury or what. But regardless, he's a little slow and he's paying the price a little bit right now. Like I said, we're going to hang in here for a couple more minutes and try to sneak out of here. We got basically, I think, just one day left to try to get it done on the target buck here. And then everything changes with the gun seasons coming in.